verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Almost like 5 seconds?
5 seconds. 5 seconds till dude started the show.
It's not even your native language, man.
It's the El Cinco.
It's Los Cinco. It's the Los Cinco. It's the Los Cinco de Mayo.
It is not the Los Cinco. Anyway, we're live now, guys.
Oh, we're live? Oops. Oh,
Buenos días, mi amigos, y bienvenido a nuestro podcast Priority One aquí, este 5 de mayo. Me alegro que ustedes están con nosotros. Muchísimas gracias.
Prioridad?
No, I wouldn't translate. I wouldn't translate. It'd be one of those things where I would just say it in English.
Primero is first. So
no, actually, Tracy, I'm not drinking. No.
I am.
I am Tracy.
Shocker.
I don't know what gave you the indication that he might be intoxicated at this very moment.
Hanging out with us. That's a good indication.
Nope.
Helps numb the pain.
So this is what is this? Revenge of the Fifth?
Revenge of the Fifth.
Revenge of the Fifth.
After May the 4th be with you.
I think it would be Jose. I think it would be primera prioridad. Like first priority.
Yeah, first.
It would be the literal translation.
That's a feminine. Priority is feminine.
Yeah.
Is that masculine? Okay. That and verb conjugations always gave me
I think
trouble.
it's actually in our case priority would give it the feminine. Yeah, I think it would be feminine. Anyway, I put that script.
Plus, we
there.
have Terry Lynn doing the announcement at the beginning. So,
Jake, they all said that your writing is garbage. I was just letting you know.
We did not.
I, on the other hand, think that you are.
We said that.
Nobody said that. It was implied.
It was and we also thought you stole from the wrong people. We thought you plagiarized the wrong format. It's not you, man. It's not you. It's who you plagiarized.
They don't like the fact that we all. No, I like it. Anyway, read it first, and then we'll do it later.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Speaking of doing it live, we should probably record this podcast, shall we?
We call that space phrasing.
Space phrasing.
All right, everybody ready? Everybody do their local audio test.
Yes.
I've gotten to the point where I just have to comb. I have to try to slick it back, and I have to have the headset hold on to it.
Me too.
I have to have the headset.
I'm not taking my hat off.
When do your barbers reopen? When do your salons and stuff reopen?
I do not know.
Who knows? Never.
Well, some states have them open now. That's
No,
what
I
I was
know.
asking.
Not Kansas.
But a Mexican restaurant opened up near
The
you.
Mexican restaurant opened up. There's supposed to be social distancing, but the line was friggin' around the block. I don't think there's social distancing in there.
Oh,
I think everybody's celebrating Cinco de Mayo today.
All right.
Wow.
Did everybody do an audio test? Seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna hit the
You
big.
just cut out for everybody else, or was that just me?
Probably just you.
Okay.
All right. Oh, well, anyway, first of all, hello, captains, and welcome to the live recording of episode 259 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. We're so thrilled to see so many active people in the chat right now, like Tracy Coco, Peter Archibald, Jose Garcia, Jake. Who else is in here? Where's everybody else? Guys, go share this. Share this on your pages. Let everybody know that we're about to dive into this week's recap of Star Trek news happening right now with amazing commentary. So hit that share, like, and tweet button. All right, let's jump into intro. You guys ready?
Yes.
Red eye.
All right, I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah intro sync 1.
This is Kat. Intro sync 2.
This is Tony intro sync 3.
This is Skippy intro sync 4.
Intro in 3, 2. I'll do it this week. This week on Priority One, we trek out. Wait, did I do it last week? Who did it last week?
I did.
Kat did it last week. Okay. This week on Priority One, we trek out Star Trek First Contact with director and star Jonathan. Shit. This week on Priority One, we trek out Star Trek First Contact with director and star Jonathan Frakes, Brian Fuller's Mirror Universe, some salty rumors, and Legos. Watch your feet. In Star Trek Gaming, Star Trek Online reveals the 2020 summer event ship winner. It celebrates the year of Klingon and helps with Zoom meeting fatigue. Later, of course, we'll open hailing frequencies for your incoming messages. All right, 3 tier. Hello, captains. You're listening to episode 459 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast, your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, I was going to say something in Spanish. Oh.
Revenge of the Fifth.
Yeah, I was going to do something. Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, all right, now. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, and available for download or streaming on Friday, May 8th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elijah.
I'm Kat.
Yo soy Tony.
And in our audio booth is our chief engineer, Skiffy.
Hola.
You know, I'm the one who speaks fluent Spanish here. And
I speak broken Spanish.
I mean, it just, y'all just appropriating. Thanks.
Sorry.
I'm not appropriating. I'm expanding my cultural boundaries.
I studied Spanish for 6 years. I can, butcher it as much as anybody else.
I got 8. I can find my way to the airport and the bathroom and get a beer.
The fact that there's a nice delay before Elijah says anything in Spanish makes me think he's typing it into Google Translate. Oh, shoot, I was going to say something in Spanish. Google, help me out. Hey, Siri.
Before we jump into the news, we want to invite you. Before we jump into the news, we want to invite you to join in on the weekly conversations, whether via social media platforms like Facebook.com/Priority One Podcast, on Twitter or Instagram at Priority One Pod, or by email to incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com.
Kat, Tracy's trying to tell you something in Facebook. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm not seeing Facebook messages. Let me pull it up.
Captains, as you know, this is a volunteer production, and none of us get paid for the work that we contribute to producing this show from week to week. We're all just a bunch of dedicated, talented volunteers with a passion for Star Trek. In order to finance the running costs of this production, we turn to Patreon and our patrons. Once a month, Each month, you can contribute to the running costs of our show and also get some very interesting perks in exchange, like our extra podcast that we call After Hours. Here's a clip of this week's show. And remember, that's exclusive to our patrons over at patreon.com. So just run a search for Priority One Podcast over at patreon.com, and links, of course, will be in the show notes. Actually, you know what? Or Kat,
Tracy, I'm like, Tracy, I can't respond on Facebook because I keep logging in under the Priority One account and it doesn't let me message back. Is it me then?
Yeah, I'm writing it up for you now. Sorry, whoever's Brandon. I think you're the one editing this. Remember to join the team.
Some good radio we got here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a
Oh, whoops. Sorry. See, I can't.
You know,
pause. I can't pause it on Facebook.
If I wasn't afraid of a copyright strike, I would play the girl from Ipanema here. If I could hum it for everyone like we do over on the other show.
Is there not a version of that that's public domain yet? There should be.
There's got to be. But we always play the Kenny G version, which I'm sure is not public domain at this point.
Yeah.
So my interpretation of that is do 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 do. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Be here all week. Sure to tip your waitress. You could also trip your waitress if you wanted to, but you wouldn't get invited back to the restaurant.
Which is no different from present day, where I'm.
That's kind of true. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're also looking for new members to join the team. We're in.
Tony drank something, but it kept coming in and out from the blue screen.
Yeah, I know. This is hilarious. It's like yeah. See this? I'm loving this. It's like I am the Matrix. I am the glitch in the Matrix. Look at this.
Wow.
Look at this. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll
Drink.
start that over.
Please.
Okay, I will.
We're also dang it. We're also looking for new members to join the team. We're in desperate need for someone with community management skills to help with our social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, if you've got some time and want to join us as we carve our own little corner in the Star Trek universe, email us at incoming@priorityonepodcast.com.
Tony, can you sweep us out?
Are we desperate? Do we want to say desperate in a job ad? Is that something we want to do?
I do.
Okay. Okay. Because he's
That
desperate.
way, all the crazy people will apply.
Right. That was artfully worded.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sorry, sanity challenge.
Now let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse.
All right, everybody hit stop. Oh, that was weird. I think I might need a new mouse.
Everyone always needs a new mouse. You should get a trackball.
No, I like the. It didn't show, Tony, your blue screen.
There it is. There it is. It's like you just have to kind of work it in a little bit at a time, right? Like it doesn't get it till it's like here. Then it's like, oh, you want to see that? Oh, that's something you're trying to show people? Yeah.
No, I've got the a Logitech version of the Razer Naga MMO mouse, so it's got the
This
all
one?
the keypads on the side. Yeah.
I just bought a new G903.
Ooh.
I quite enjoy it because it's wirelessly charged from the mat underneath. So it's wireless, but you never have to charge it because it's just
Wow.
always
Oh,
charged.
that's cool.
Oh, that's awesome. The
I don't
things they
recommend them
come up
yet.
with.
The verdict's still out on the quality control issues that I've read about on Reddit.
That's what you get for being a first adopter.
That's right.
Alright.
You know, because Reddit's a good source of all the things.
Reddit is a great source of people that are complaining about the quality.
That's what I was
of
going to say. For complaints, you go to Reddit. That's right.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, you guys ready?
I do not have mouse issues, Z. Maybe
Alright.
a little.
I'm gonna hit the big red button for Trek It Out in 3, 2, 1, This is Elijah. Trek It Out, Sync 1.
This is Kat. Trek It Out, Sync 2.
This is Tony. Check it out. Sync 3.
This is Skiffy. Trek it out. Sync 4. So are we supposed to hit record when you say 1, or when you say 1 then pause and then we hit record?
Yeah,
Trek
it's like
it out
1 then
in
go.
3.
Because
Yeah.
he used to say 3, 2, and then he'd pause and we'd hit start on 1.
Don't,
we
Skiffy,
can't-
Elijah,
don't.
Elijah, do not take this bait. We have this
I'm
countdown
not.
argument about a timer in Elite Dangerous, and it's gone on for years. Do not engage. Do not engage.
I won't.
Do not engage.
Trek It Out in 3, 2.
Are we supposed to start now?
We're leading with Jonathan Frakes again, and we'd apologize if we thought it was necessary, but it's not. The man is a treasure. So, what did the actor, director, and all-around entertaining Frakes do this time? He did a live watch of Star Trek First Contact with IGN, and he did not disappoint. Frakes joined IGN's Watch from Home Theater to stream a live chat of the 1996 classic, and, as usual, had some interesting insight and entertaining takes on the film. In regards to rumors that special effects house Industrial Lights and Magic wanted to add the Millennium Falcon to the film, Frakes replied, quote, "I'd like it, and it's a rumor I will continue to spread," end quote. Frakes also credited Ron Moore, Rick Berman, and Brannon Braga's script for the movie's success, citing the comedic interludes, quote, "And that is one of the keys to the success of this film, is those comic beats are peppered in. They're momentary, and then we restart the engine. I think that's one of the real tricks to Ron and Brannon. I think that's one of the real tricks to Ron and Brannon.
Brandon and Dan. Come on down to audio editor headquarters.
Okay. Ron. Okay, it's Moore. Wait, who wrote it? It was Rick.
Ron
Berman.
Moore and Brandon Braga. Ron and Brandon.
I think.
Brannon Braga.
Yeah. I think that's one of the real tricks to Ron and Brandon's script. That's not always heralded as important, and yet vital in an action-adventure movie. End quote.
Do you want
But-
to say heralded or herald? You said herald.
It doesn't matter because this is going to get filled in with actual
okay.
voice clip.
The actual code.
But Jonathan Frakes answered the real question that's been... who's eating chips?
That's a good question.
But what is going on?
You can't see it because it's magic.
It's like you have
God.
superpower hearing or something going on over there.
But Jonathan Frakes answered the real question that's been plaguing Star Trek fans for years. What's with the Riker chair maneuver? Quote, that started in 10 Forward because the backs of the chairs in 10 Forward were so low. It was easy. And then I thought, this is a real hot dog thing to do. It says expletive. No one is going to let me do this. And then nobody stopped me. It's such a cocky, unattractive, bad cowboy move. End quote. The 2-hour movie commentary is chock full of information, including how Alfre Woodard became Jonathan Frakes' godmother, Geordi without a visor, and Patrick Stewart's body. Follow our link in the show notes to give it a watch.
I watched this live last Saturday, and it was great. That is one of my favorite moments when he talks about how the Riker maneuver started. He goes on after that to talk about, and then I realized that the chair in the ready room was basically the same height. But he also explained he never did it to the first time he saw a chair. You always had to do it twice, stand up and measure the chair twice to make sure that there was enough clearance to pull it off.
Huh.
My other takeaway from that interview is he explains how he gets the nickname Two Takes Frakes, which is not quite what everybody had thought.
What is it?
Oh, I can't spoil that. You got to watch the interview.
Go ahead and spoil it.
Go ahead and spoil it.
Essentially, in one of the scenes of First Contact when he was directing, they did a scene. He looks over at the sound engineer. He looks over at the DP, and they both have nods, and everybody had agreed that on the first take of doing something, they had exactly what they needed. And then one of the executives was on set and walks up to him and says, "No, you can't just cut one. You can't cut and print one. You have to do at least 2 takes, Frakes." So 2 takes, Frakes. And that's good logic in the film industry. You never want one, because if that gets damaged, you don't have a backup. So you often hear one more for safety kind of thing.
All right.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, be sure to check it out. Links, of course, will be in the show notes.
It's been a long road getting from there to here, all the way back in 2016 when we could go outside and give hugs to people. Seasoned Star Trek writer Brian Fuller was given the proverbial keys to the castle. He was put in charge of bringing Star Trek back to television. After his departure in 2017, we learned a few things about his now defunct vision, including the pitch that the series be an anthology. Fast forward to this week, and we learn a bit more about Fuller's unfulfilled plans. Sitting down with Robert Burnett for his YouTube show, Robservations, Fuller shed light on his vision of the darker side of Trek, more specifically, the Mirror Universe. Quote, "The thing that really fascinated me in sitting down and crafting the story for Discovery was just the human condition. And I thought there are elements in the Mirror Universe that we have seen that have sort of boiled to the broadest ends of the spectrum, and everything felt really binary. What I wanted to do in setting out is looking at the minutiae of simple decisions that have a cascade effect on our lives. So it's not about gold lame sashes and goatees versus no sash and clean shaven. It's more like about, It's more like about we are at forks in the road every moment of our lives, and we either go left or right," end quote. Fuller elaborated, saying, quote, It wasn't necessarily the Mirror Universe we know from all the other series. It was something that was closer to our timeline and experience. So you can still recognize the human being and go, what did I do? How did that seem like a good decision for me in that moment? And how do I continue with my life forward? And everything was sort of an extrapolation out on that. So there were things that I wanted the Mirror Universe to function in a narrative exploration of expletive. If I just hadn't done that one thing, everything would be better. As opposed to, I don't recognize that person. I don't know who that person is because they are a diametric opposite of who I am. End quote.
What was that show where they go to parallel universes? Sliders? Is that
Yeah.
show? That sounds more like Sliders, or that episode of Doctor Who where Donna turns left instead of right. I'm fascinated. I really wish we could have seen more of Brian Fuller's vision, because you think of the mirror universe, it's just a parallel, one universe over, instead of everything just being the opposite of ours. I think that's fascinating, where you were instead of making this one choice, you did this, and this is where your life ended up. That would have been really, really interesting.
Star Trek, I think, lends itself really well to a format like an anthology. There is just so much in the universe that has been just touched on briefly. That Star Trek Online, for instance, has done a really good job in converting that into a playable, entertaining format for a video game. I think that I feel like it was a missed opportunity to restart the Star Trek television franchise, and not doing it as an anthology.
I think we're getting something like that. There are a number of series in development, so we're going to get that kind of anthology. Only each chapter of the anthology is going to have its own show, and they'll be running in parallel. Right. So we're going to get that.
Well, that brings us to our first community question this week. What do you think of Brian Fuller's explanation of the Mirror Universe? Let us know in the comment section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com, or by keeping an eye on our social media platforms like Facebook or Twitter when we ask you this community question. All right, now before we move on, we have a special guest. Seems to be waiting in our waiting room. Hello, special guest.
Yay, Tracy Coco.
Maybe special guest, maybe not.
Unmute and turn your camera on, Tracy, down there in lower left.
Excuse me.
Maybe not.
Don't give up yet.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I mean, I don't know if it was an accidental.
Oh, there she goes.
There it is. I got 3 dots. I got a check mark.
Hello?
Still-
Okay, now hit the unmute button in the lower left-hand corner
I think she's on her
and
tablet.
the camera. She's getting there. She's getting there. I believe.
How do you what? Do you see her computer?
No,
Oh,
because
there we
I
go.
have to
Hi,
do this. Yeah,
Tracy.
there. See, there's. Because I have this problem every time too. I'm like, why aren't I talking or saying anything? You're like, oh yeah, I have to unmute it down here
Why
first.
can't you see me?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a camera button next to the unmute button. There we go.
Oh my god!
Turn it off! Turn it
Oh
off!
my
goodness.
gosh.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Cat.
Hi. Wow, your quarantine life's progressing.
Monkeying
Live
around.
from the planet of the apes.
Is this how it all starts? Is this how the Planet of the
I
Apes
feel
starts?
like we're in a David Lynch movie.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing?
I just thought I'd pop in for a surprise.
Thank you. Yes, that's
The monkey
delightful.
mask is what did it. That was the surprise. That was the surprise for sure. Yes. After encouraging you to hit the button, Tracy, you can do it, and then oh Jesus!
I always have a problem. I don't know why.
The reason I knew you were having trouble is because I have the same problem every time I try to log on. I'm like, why isn't this working? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
I just wanted to say I love you guys and all you do, and I hope you guys are hanging in there with all this stuff. Are you guys opening up right now and over there, or?
Some of
Well,
us.
Yeah, some of us here in Jersey, just some of the parks have opened up, but businesses and stuff are still closed. But yeah, how about you? How are you holding up?
I'm hanging in there. Yeah, I guess they, rioted at the beach, and so we had to shut it down again. So I hear that they're opening it up again. So we shall see.
Oh man, I'm so jealous of people in the West Coast, because I think it's somewhere around LA. The beaches are bioluminescent.
Oh yes, they are. They're very trippy, weird.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I would have loved to have seen
like a
something
really cool cobalt blue. Yeah.
Oh, have you gotten to see it? Have you had the opportunity to check it
Oh
out?
no. We can't go on the beach right now.
Oh, I see.
Staying away for a little longer is smarter,
Yeah.
especially with the
and
riots.
I'm gonna be, I gotta still do my mask when I go out because I'm kind of in that zone of getting sick, so I can't
Smart.
get sick.
Smart.
Yeah.
So easy just to wear a mask. Look, I just did. I had a monkey. Went out with a monkey one on before, and everybody died.
I was just going to ask that. I was just going to ask if that's the mask you go out with.
I have my happy face emoji one too.
Oh.
Tomorrow's
I don't
tomorrow's
think I would
challenge.
be good to wear a happy face emoji out right now. So
Tomorrow's challenge is to go out as a Borg and say that this is
Oh,
what the coronavirus did to you.
I wish oh my God, I wish. Oh my God. But I don't want to keep you guys. I just wanted to say I love you, and I love what you do, and I just wanted to say hi.
Thank you, Tracy.
Oh,
As
hi,
always,
thank
you're welcome.
you.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
Okay. All
Stay
right.
safe out there.
All right,
Bye.
you guys. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bring back Lieutenant J. Yeah!
Yes. And if not, then you've got to be in Demolition Man 2.
Oh my God, really? I know. Maybe they'll come out with another pinball game too. Holy moly. Okay.
See ya.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome.
Wow.
How exactly are we supposed to follow that?
I don't.
With an
I don't think we
in-depth
can.
analysis of a Viacom merger.
I mean, I could put on the Red Ranger helmet. That is wearable. I could put that on.
Ooh.
So, but no, I won't.
No, don't try to top it.
I'm
Don't
not.
try to top
I'm
it.
not.
Don't
You
do
can't.
it. Don't do
You
it.
can't. You
You
just
can't.
can't.
You can't. Don't do it.
All right. Okay. So Viacom CBS.
All right. Well, this next story requires Nancy Crater, This next story requires Nancy Crater, M113 creature levels of salt. A pinch won't do. So get ready for some modeling. Could Star Trek and the newly reintegrated Viacom CBS be on the market? Film critic, comic book author, and YouTuber Grace Randolph thinks she may have the answers. In a tweet dated May 1st, Randolph said, quote, "Okay, here's some Friday tea for you. As we've been hearing, Apple might buy Disney, but also Netflix might buy Viacom, CBS/Paramount. Super rumor stage, but that's what's being sipped in Hollywood right now, end quote. Rumors of Apple purchasing Disney have been floating around for a couple of weeks now, though. NASDAQ.com speculates that the acquisition is unlikely. But what about Netflix purchasing Viacom CBS? Rumor site Bounding Into Comics linked an article to financial website Seeking Alpha, which cited Viacom CBS as a prime takeover target. Further, Grace Rudolph, the tweeter from earlier in the story. Did I call her Randolph? Oh, it's spelled differently. Is it Randolph or Rudolph?
Oh. I guess I'll have to
I think
click
it's
through the link.
Randolph. Hold on. Okay. I'll at least be consistent if consistently wrong. Further, Grace Randolph, the tweeter from earlier in the story, posits on her YouTube program Beyond the Trailer that the acquisition would give Netflix access to Viacom CBS's library and franchises, and, quote, this would make Netflix a movie studio proper where they could make their prestige films and they would be Netflix owned, but they would not be Netflix branded, end quote. In short, sorry.
For the record, I confirmed it's Randolph.
Great, thank you.
Oh, good. Okay. Where was I? Okay. In short, Netflix could release Paramount movies in theaters without upsetting Netflix subscribers. Some naysayers point to the obvious fact that Netflix is currently running a substantial debt and could not float at the... Some naysayers point to the obvious fact that Netflix is currently running a substantial... Is that right? Okay, sorry. I'm having issues. Some naysayers point to the obvious fact that Netflix is currently running a substantial debt and could not float the estimated $5 billion acquisition cost. But what about another streaming service, one owned by a billionaire Trekkie with a walk-on part in Star Trek Beyond, the Jeff Bezos-led Amazon Prime? There is a lot of fun speculation going on. For a link to the articles discussed, check out the show notes.
I can't believe or imagine a world where Apple ends up buying out Disney. I think that Disney is just in a position to not be bought. They are just, they're killing it with Disney Plus. However,
I want to say before you move on topics, I
ahead.
think Apple and Disney is a match made in heaven. I think that's a foregone. I thought 10 years ago, I thought that was a foregone conclusion that would happen.
But would Apple fully outright purchase Disney, or would it just be some kind of agreement, like the way Netflix had an agreement with Disney and Marvel for things like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all the other Marvel shows that were on Netflix?
Oh, if anybody could afford to buy Disney, it would be Apple. Whether it would be a flat-out cash transaction, I highly doubt that. It would be some sort of... I don't know how that kind of aspect of business works, but it's usually some sort of merger, and I see Tony has a very active-looking face.
I was muted, sorry. Sorry, audio editors. I had a look at their consolidated financials before the show. It's at least theoretically possible for Apple to acquire Disney. And Apple has so much cash just lying around that they wouldn't fund the entire thing out of petty cash, but a substantial cash chunk would go along with it. And in this day and age, that's a huge pot sweetener.
Well, when people are buying $700 wheels, then I guess they would have some petty cash to spend.
Yeah, they have lots. And they're doing a bond offering. Apple is selling bonds in this market today, which means that, number one, people are hungry for a stable company to go out and do things. And number two, they're looking for places to park cash. So if there was going to be, if now is the time to do it, if they wanted to do it. I also don't think, I agree with you though, Elijah, I don't think Apple is going to buy Disney because it would be an awfully big transaction to swallow.
Right.
And Disney just bought Fox. So that would be swallowing something that just got swallowed, which is a problem.
I don't see Apple buying Disney. I just don't see them doing that because it's going to split the business. Apple's a technology company, not an IP
but they need
company.
content.
they're
for their
trying
gear.
very, very
they're
hard
trying
to
very
change
hard.
that, though.
But-
Well,
Plus
maybe
was their
they
take on
could
it.
buy Viacom CBS.
They had-
Well,
That's what I'm
where I
saying here.
That's
That was the point I was going for.
And that's where really the core of the discussion should be, right? Is what to do about Viacom CBS. I mean, Viacom CBS seems to always be either one, whether it was Paramount or CBS prior to the merger or even years before, has always tried real hard to lead the pack unsuccessfully. Right, with going as far back as UPN, moving on when they started to
They're trying to copy Fox. They weren't leading the pack.
and then try to move into streaming because they were out roughly around the same time Netflix was first released. So they were one of the first to start streaming services. But as much as they try to lead the pack, or as much as they try to start a trend, they never position themselves in a way to be successful. And then you move into their franchises. CBS has some pretty successful shows, sure, but Paramount often drops the ball terribly with their franchises. Just 2 nights ago, I seem to have wanted to cause myself pain because I put myself through 2 hours of Transformers the last night, which
Voluntarily?
was
Did you lose a bet?
No, I was just like, you know
Oh.
what? I like Transformers, and I liked the very first one, the first Michael Bay one, and then Bumblebee was good, and it just, but every time they start a franchise, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, their movie monsters, they sometimes will come out of the park. They sometimes will come out of the gate like a what's the phrase? What am I thinking of here? Come out of the gate
Like a train out of a bullet tunnel thing. Or something.
They sometimes will start a franchise off real strong, but it just ends up collapsing. Like they just don't know how to sustain a solid IP. So please, Netflix, buy Viacom CBS. Grab all that content and all that television content, right? We're talking about all the CBS terrestrial content available, Big Bang Theory and several other ones, and start producing some amazing science fiction again. Whether G.I. Joe, whether Transformers, whether Star Trek, they fumble real bad. And I would love for Netflix to buy them out.
I think Netflix would have a hard time adapting to terrestrial broadcast world.
Yep.
I think that would be a very unlikely move.
Amazon's
that would make a lot more sense.
Amazon's probably going to buy them.
I don't care. You know what? Yes, fine. Let Amazon buy them. I hope that they do. It's not, the problem is not necessarily the creative minds behind these franchises, right? I mean, Ron Moore and, Brandon Braga, Ira Stephen Bear. These are some very talented artists that know how to make television, but often were tied at the wrist by corporate decisions. I mean, Ira Stephen Bear has no qualms about censoring his opinions about, what the suits wanted of him for Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine could have been amazing.
The latter Sumner Redstone years were not kind to the Viacom, CBS, Paramount family, and now that he's passed from active management and his daughter's kind of in charge, things are a little better. But I think it's too little, too late. They've got a good content library. They have the terrestrial distribution from broadcast, but that industry is kind of in decline. And they just didn't catch up fast enough on the streaming stuff. They need a better partner in streaming, and that's either Netflix or Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has the installed user base and the customer base to get their stuff out.
Yeah, I blame Les Moonves, really, instead of necessarily Sumner Redstone. But I also...
He's part of that, yeah.
Skiffy, you responded, but it was like really killing me to not say something earlier about Cairo 47's intellectual property comments.
What was that?
Cairo says that intellectual properties are a misnomer when it should be called content. And no, it is intellectual property because it has value. And it's not like land property. So there's a legal term, like it's a term of art. So yeah.
Banks loan money against it. That's how you know it's real.
I'm like, it's collateral. It's it's something you can.
Well, and my response was content is something that you can consume somehow, and you make content using some sort of intellectual property. So intellectual property is an idea, such as Star Trek, the brand, and the idea of being in space. And you make all kinds of content with that. Books, games, TV shows, movies, toys.
Now you've done it, Skiffy. Now you've done it. You've done it.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but you're inexact, and that's even worse, maybe.
Well,
okay,
so fair.
This is a public service announcement from a lawyer to everybody else out there. When a lawyer says it's a term of art, just get a bowl of popcorn, something fizzy to drink, and just settle in, because there's details involved that are extremely complicated. The term of art is a term of art.
Okay, but Cairo 47, you are correct that ideas cannot be property. It's not the ideas that is what is being protected here. It's the expression of the ideas, which is copyrightable and therefore protectable under copyright law.
Do you see how you were wrong just now, Skiffy? Do you see how you were wrong?
Fair.
You were wrong just then. And I warned you. I warned you, Skiffy.
I'm expressing an idea right now.
Well, you can file a copyright application from the Copyright Office.
I'm sorry.
And
all
actually,
this is owned by Priority One Productions LLC. All of it. All of it is
We
owned by
reserve
Priority One Productions LLC.
All rights reserved.
I was just about to say it. Yes, thank you.
Oh my God, Tony and I should read a disclaimer at the end. Of the
Yeah,
podcast.
definitely should. Yes.
In the credits.
Classic.
Well, how about that for another community question, Captains? If Viacom CBS were to be bought out by another major production house like Netflix, Amazon, or Apple, which would you prefer? Apple, Netflix, or Amazon? Let us know in the comments section for this episode. And of course, you have the opportunity of replying to our community question posts on Facebook and Twitter.
Speaking of fun, because we just were, who doesn't like Legos? The Danish building block toy has inspired, entertained, and enlightened the lives of people across the globe for nearly 40 years. Wait a minute. It's been around a lot longer than that, hasn't it? 40 years? Is that it? When were Legos invented?
I don't know. I'm trying to write the community question.
On it.
Somebody else.
Yeah, that's got. Let's do a quick fact check here, because I'm more than 40, and I'm pretty sure Legos are around before me.
19. Well, the person that invented Lego started making wooden toys in 1932, but that wasn't the creation of the Lego. Products introduced in 1949.
That was a long time ago. So I'm going to say people around the globe for decades. I'm going to say decades. How about that?
That makes
Sounds
sense.
Speaking of fun, because we just were, who doesn't like Legos? The Danish building block company... The Danish building block toys inspired, entertained, and enlightened the lives of people across the globe for decades. And despite the fact that Star Trek has never been included in the Lego block world, it doesn't mean fans can't bring it in themselves. That's exactly what Reddit user M2M did using Lego's free digital designer. Starting 3 weeks ago, M2M has created the cast of the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, as well as sets from the first season of TNG in chronological order, starting with Encounter at Farpoint and currently ending at Heart of Glory. These are hugely fun, intricate, and creative, and we recommend you follow the link to have a look at them all.
You know, it's funny that we covered this because Allie and I were talking about things to do in quarantine, and I had thought, like, oh, well, maybe a Lego set, you know, and Lego unfortunately doesn't do anything with Star Trek. It's
because they've got the Star Wars IP.
Right. So even the Mega Block versions of Star Trek are either not available, like they had an Enterprise, TOS Enterprise, but that's super expensive now, and so maybe I'll look into this and see about using their sets and build something from scratch.
Yeah, you build it digitally in their little creator thing, and I thought once upon a time you could hit an order pieces button. I thought you could do that, but maybe not. But this has just been years since I used it. But when my son was younger, we used to play with it sometimes. And I had the Enterprise D, the Mega Bloks version of the Enterprise D, and that's in a box around here somewhere. So I've got that here somewhere.
Yeah.
Is a Mega Bloks just an off-brand Lego?
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of IP, speaking of intellectual property, there was a court case a long time ago that said that they couldn't patent the Lego interlocking stud and hole design. That's so everybody just used that system and all the same measurements and everything. So you can that's why Lego pieces interact with these off-brand ones too, because they lost a big lawsuit. So.
Probably what, obvious, non-novel? I don't know.
And it might be with a long history of the company. It's been around for years and years, and it may not have been registered or whatever at the inception, and so it was in the public domain, domain for long enough, unprotected.
Public use. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You're probably right.
I don't remember exactly how the details of it were, but that's why even all the off-brand Legos will snap with regular Legos.
Interesting.
Well, captains, watch your toes if you've got kids. But that's all the news we have to trek out this week. Now, let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming. Everybody hit step.
Was that our longest TO in a while?
That
Yeah.
was a long one.
Yeah.
But well,
so.
Tracy jumped in. I don't know if that's going to make it into the final show.
Wouldn't get the mask effect.
All right.
So why is Google not in the running to buy a studio?
We're still debating IP in chat? Awesome. I can give a primer later.
I'm
You
curious
like-
why in all the rumors that exist, why is Google not interested in owning?
Because
studio.
Google's
I would
busy
think they'd
taking
be-
over the world, Skiffy.
I would
Yeah, I don't
they'd
think
be.
I don't think
Google's
they're
not
in a position
interested.
to-
Yeah,
be a
Google's not
production house.
interested in any of that.
If Google wanted to watch Star Trek, they would just raid people's hard drives and just pull it off there. That people have downloaded. They would just do that.
I don't know, man. But of all the options, I think that Netflix would handle science fiction like Star Trek way better than Amazon or. I haven't really watched much on Apple Plus, but I've started watching more things on Amazon. Like I just watched. What did I watch? I watched the new one with Rick Offerman. Or Nick Offerman.
Oh, Devs.
Devs. I just watched Devs, although I think that's on Hulu. The other one I just watched was Upload. But you know, they treat science fiction very seriously. Like it's Amazon at least seems to treat it more like a art. How do I describe this? Like
Amazon picked up The Expanse. That got Jeff Bezos big brownie points in my book. Wasn't ever a real fan of his.
I was going to say, have you seen The Expanse yet, Elijah? Because I just finished it.
No, I haven't.
Cool.
I haven't.
It's pretty good.
But like you know what I'm saying? The tone of their science
So
fiction
good.
is a little heavier. Is much heavier than most other science fiction. So
like The
it's
Expanse.
very cerebral. So
Yes,
I don't
like The
know. I don't know that Star Trek would fit well with that approach to science fiction that Amazon is taking. But Netflix,
I don't know. The new series of Star Trek are pretty heavy, and I don't like it.
Yeah, but then again, it's also CBS in charge of that crap, right? They're just trying to be like everybody else now, where whatever
rather than be for real about it. Yeah.
right.
They're trying to integrate swear words into their episodes and failing miserably.
Yeah, it's just I would.
How about that memo? You know, you need to take 2 takes, one for safety, even if you got it the first time. You know, you need to do 2. Also, we need 30% more cussing. If you could put in 30% more
Throw it
cussing,
in at the most inopportune time where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
really
right,
zoom in on it and punch it.
We want to make sure people notice the fact that we're integrating these words in there. So really highlight that if you could, and really make it in the most awkward and weird way possible, and the least appropriate characters for it. Like if you have like a grandma old lady person, just give her like the worst potty mouth ever. Please do that. That would make the most sense for us.
All right, you guys ready for Stone News?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna hit the big red button for Stone News in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah Stone News Sync 1. Zeph, don't you start! Don't you start, Zeph! How dare you? This is Elijah, Stone News Sync 1.
This is Kat, Stone News Sync 2. Awesome, Seth.
This is Tony with a very confused Sync 3.
This is Skiffy, Stowe News, the El La Serena, Sync 4.
Stone News in 3, 2, 1, go.
Just under 20,000 players voted in Star Trek Online's contest to choose the next Rizian summer event ship, and the results of the voting have now been announced. In a pair of posts on May 1st, the official STO Twitter account declared Nick DeGood's design as the winner.
Do good.
I knew that. In a pair of posts on May 1st, the official STO Twitter account declared Nick
Do good.
Right. I know how to pronounce it. I just can't read it anymore. You're gonna change it. Okay, thanks. That taking out the
Nick
U is
Dugged?
Do good.
Nick Dweed. Nick Duguid.
Do good.
It's French.
Nike Duguid. What? In a pair of posts on May 1st, the official STO Twitter account declared Nick Duguid's design as the
Jesus
winner. That still
Christmas.
didn't sound right.
No.
Good.
Do good.
It's a gin and tonic talking. I swear to God.
Pretty sure his name is Doug.
No, it's
Doug
not.
Nickwid. Okay. And a pair of Tumor Boy 1.
No.
That's it. We're done. I'm done here. I quit.
Or Taco Fangs if you've
Taco
been around
Fangs.
a while.
Yeah. In a pair of posts on May 1st, the official STO Twitter
You know what?
account
Can you do
declared
me a massive favor, please, just for the sanity of
For you.
Dex.
Take it from the top.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, give it to Skiffy to read. Sure, I can do that. Just under 20,000 players voted in Star Trek Online's contest to choose the next Rizian summer event ship, and the results of the voting have now been announced. In a pair of posts on May 1st, the official STO Twitter account declared Nick Duguid's design as the winner, taking nearly 38% of votes. The senior environment artist ship design will be fully developed by concept artist Hector Ortiz and handed over to the dev teams to realize the design. And handed over to the dead team. And handed over to the dev teams to realize.
Take it from the
Where do you want? And hand it over? You want to take it from the senior environment?
the senior.
What do you want? Okay. The senior environment artist ship design will now be fully developed by concept artist Hector Ortiz and handed over to the dev teams to realize the ship for 2020's summer event on Ryza. Congratulations to Nick Duguid and also to the other 3 game devs who contributed to the contest. Christian Griffith's design came in a close second with 32% of the votes, while Jesse Heinig and Mike Fatum's designs took in 16 and 13% respectively. If Nick's design wasn't your personal favorite, perhaps you'll find some solace in another STO account tweet declaring, quote, "You never know where these other designs might end up," end quote.
Congrats, Nick. Way to go.
That's awesome. I did not vote for that ship, but oh well.
I did. It was a hard vote. All 4 designs turned out really well.
Yeah, it was hard. I voted for Mike's ship.
I thought Nick's was kind of the most consistent with what a Rizian ship would be.
I also like the one with the terrarium on the top. Was that number 3? I think. Well, anyway, I like that one. Oh, it's me. We recently shared Thomas Moroni's surprise reveal of an updated Klingon Bird of Prey model, and now Cryptic has revealed that this year holds much more excitement for the Klingon-loving players, like me. In fact, 2020 has been dubbed the... In fact, 2020 has been dubbed by the game as the Year of Klingon. A game news blog dated April 29th announced a new major multi-part Klingon-focused storyline set in the game's current timeline of 2411. The blog acknowledged that the game's current Klingon arc is both well-loved by players and at the same time lacking many recent technical improvements. What are you shaking your finger at, Elijah?
At Zeph. Sorry.
Like, it's very distracting. Where was I?
The blog and acknowledged. I think.
The blog acknowledged that the game's current Klingon arc is both well-loved by players and at the same time lacking many recent... The blog acknowledged that the game's current Klingon arc is both well-loved by players and at the same time lacking many recent technical improvements. Cryptic said, quote, "We're spending time and resources to give these pieces of content visual improvements." Wait, I can't read, sorry. Cryptic said, quote, "We're spending time and resources to give these pieces of content visual and gameplay facelifts. Over the next 12 months, maybe more, you'll see new Klingon character models for some of our classic characters like Jempak, updated skins for the classic Klingon ships like the Bird of Prey, new environments and cutscenes to refresh this old but beloved content," end quote. Like the recent Star Trek Discovery content releases, the Year of Klingon will be released in installments. To communicate their efforts, and you guys, to communicate their efforts and generate excitement over this time, there will be regular spotlights on the ongoing development. The first, tagged #StovaCore Saturdays, will reveal pieces of updated content weekly on game social media accounts. One #StovaCore Saturday has already gone live, providing a brief video of updated Klingon character textures like hairstyles and skin complexions. Other outlets to come are artist streams on the official Twitch account and weekly live... Other outlets to come are artist streams on the official Twitch account and weekly team interviews on the 10 Forward weekly community stream.
All right. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and ask, why? Not so much because I don't think any improvement to the game is unworthy, but I just feel like time and again we've been told that investing development time into Klingons wasn't ever really at the top of the list because the player base tends to lead in the majority for Federation players. So, I mean, I am happy for the fans of the Klingon Empire. You are an honorable group. I just wonder
Would you
what
like
the
to know
business plan is for this.
Would you like to know what it is? I will tell you what it is.
I can speculate.
They're expecting another big chunk of players to come in sometime in the next 6 to 12 months, probably to coincide with the release of the animated cartoons, both the Lower Decks one and the one that's supposed to come on with the Nickelodeon, the one aimed at younger kids. So they're going to refresh that content, make it look good, make it look consistent with the rest of the game because they expect a marketing push with the release of those other series. And so they're cleaning house in anticipation of that happening.
I have a theory that this will finally introduce the merger of the Klingon and the Federation factions.
All right, now that would be
That's
cool.
what I think, Skiffy. You get out of my head.
That would
A
be
long
cool.
time ago. Hang on. It's a fun theory, but there's a technical block there. I'm going to play devil's advocate and say the problem with that is that a long time ago, Al told us that baked into the very fundamental code of the system was the two factions, the Klingon and the Federation. It's why the Romulans you have to choose at level 10. You got to pick one or the other because the game itself is blue and red.
Right, but didn't they also say recently that there's some game-changing developments in the works? So maybe this is part of that?
A code refactor?
I also, I maintain that, and we've heard Al say it too, that code can do anything. It's just a matter of the resources needed.
We just have to code it.
Yeah, you just need to code it.
Yeah, over guard frequency, we all know that whenever you think something's wrong with the game, all you have to do is just code it. You know.
Yeah.
So
have to program
maybe
that.
they're going to update all that stuff so that if you create any new character, you can pick Klingon or Federation, and that's why they're updating it.
Well,
Could be.
I also
huge work though. Huge amount of work.
I'm also with Thomas James in the chat, who had said that it's great as long as we don't have to necessarily play that content or create a new character to earn certain rewards. If they make it easy for Federation players to earn items that are not simply exclusive to KDF players, then that would be cool. But they don't tend to do that, right? I mean, you had the Jemadar, and that was you had to create a Jemadar character to get those items, even cross-faction items that unlocked for your account. So I doubt that they're not going to, if they do a revamp as extensive as we hope they would for something like the Klingon story arc and characters and whatever, My guess is that you'd have to create a Klingon character or have your existing Klingon character redo some of these events.
But I mean, typically though, historically, if they've done something like that, they release it as a expansion or a big thing, right? Whether the temporal thing or the Jemadar thing that you mentioned.
Oh,
it's
recruit
usually
events, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually a big to do, and they call it an expansion or a whatever. This they're saying here that we're going to release it in pieces, parts, and that's typically not when they create like the if you have like a Delta recruit or a Gamma recruit, it's typically a big splash. It doesn't seem like they're doing that here.
Maybe they're just preparing it for next year, maybe. I don't know.
So, speculation time. Do they know something we don't know about development of series? Is there a Klingon series coming? Is Worf going to finally get his TV show? Let us know in the comment section down below.
I would watch that.
Should we make some good radio while Elijah types because he's typing things?
Please.
Oh, yeah.
So
what we need now is a founder playable faction. Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh, I would. Yeah, you could.
Cardassians, right? We're finally doing Cardassians now, right?
We have Cardassians.
Well, like actual Cardassians?
Actual faction.
Yeah.
Like a faction?
Oh, no, well, they're not a faction. They're a character you can play.
Yeah, but they're not a faction. They need
Playable Borg. Let's just take it all the way.
Yeah, someone needs to drive around with a big cube.
Playable Borg where you're forced to do somebody else's goals. Like you can't do anything.
Oh my
yourself.
god,
It's
you'd be in
autoplay.
the collective.
You know what I've always thought? The way to get PvP to come back is just let somebody be a Borg cube and let people wail on him. I mean, that would be a fun PvP scenario.
There have been other games where devs, like Star Wars Galaxies, if you had a player-run event, you were doing a player-run party that got enough traction, the devs would log in as like a level 500 boss, and they would be controlling this boss that would, didn't fit in the game, wasn't normally there, and yeah, you could have this community like take down this dev and get treats.
Yeah, but you can't do that in Star Trek Online because of the fractured instances.
Yeah, but code can do anything.
You just program that. What's your problem? You just
All right,
program
Cal,
it.
would you read
just
that?
Put in the code.
Would you read that community question?
Oh, yeah. That brings us to our first community question for Star Trek Online. What are your thoughts on the KDF revamp coming to... Wait a minute. What are your thoughts on the KDF revamp coming to Stowe? What do you hope to see? Let us know on our site, social media pages, or email us at incoming@priorityonepodcast.com.
You kind of merged site social media. Like there was no comment.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you meant website, right?
Yeah.
Let us know on our website, social media pages, or email us at incoming@priorityonepodcast.com.
Don't video call for the job you have. Video call for the job you want. At least that's what Ambassador Kel declared in another official blog post this week, where he shared 16 Zoom meeting backgrounds created from locations within the game. The backgrounds were all created and provided by player Primer 13. They include a wide selection of ship bridges, plus important locations like Starfleet Academy and the Klingon High Council chambers. If you want to join your next video conference from the bridge of the USS Enterprise, just follow the link in our show notes. Mr. Hunter, you yourself are
I'm on the F.
A new
I'm on the bridge of the F.
background.
Bridge of the Enterprise Foxtrot right here behind me. Big Odyssey class bridge. Got the transporter, my own personal transporter right there behind me. Just gotta walk back there and beam someplace. I don't even take the elevator anymore. Just go over the transporter. They just beam me wherever I want to go.
Good, that's
No
nice.
waiting.
That's delightful.
Do you have to buy each one, or are they all available?
They're just free. There's JPEGs, or I guess they're PNG files. So yeah, you just download them and throw them in your Zoom thing, and then have fun with all the crazy artifacts. Like if I get too close to my headrest, the thing thinks my head is part of the headrest. So you can see my headrest here. And I've been taking drinks from my cup every once in a while. That sometimes it blocks, and then it magically appears.
Well, that's
great.
a Zoom thing. That's not the.
It's a
the
Zoom. I know
background.
it's fun. It's
You
fun.
could fix that by having an actual green screen and a real chroma key, like an Ultra Chrome or a Ultimat.
Who needs that business? This is more fun.
Actually,
It's not good radio for what I'm doing. I'm flopping my head back and forth and letting pieces of my face disappear.
Kat, can you read the event?
Did you beam in a taco?
Let's skip Armada news this week unless there's something important.
No, only the thing that we already
Yeah,
brought
we've already
up.
covered it. Yeah, all right, go ahead and do the event.
All right. The second part of Stowe's current 4-part event campaign has just begun on May 7th on all platforms. Players can participate in 2 featured TFOs to protect the living planet Pavo from the Terran Empire. Completing daily progress in the event will earn players points towards campaign rewards such as either 1,000 Lobi or 200 Lobi and a 100% off coupon for a tier... Dang. Completing daily progress in the event will earn players points towards campaign rewards such as either 1,000 Lobi or 200 Lobi and a 100% off coupon for a Tier 6 C-Store ship. Completing 14 days worth of progress during this Defensive Pavo event will unlock the following prizes: 25,000 dilithium ore, 3 featured TFO reward boxes containing a choice of 1 spec point or 1 enhanced universal tech upgrade, and the new universal kit module, Kid Drones. The Kids, or kinetically impelled detachable drones, were last seen protecting Commander Jet Reno aboard the wreck of the USS Hiawatha in Star Trek Discovery. This kit module provides both a passive mode and an activated mode. When passive, the module spawns 1 drone with limited capabilities that follows the character into combat. When activated, however, 3 drones will enter combat for a brief time and more effectively damage and disable foes. For the full details on everything about the new event and its prizes, plus oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice now. For the full details on everything about the new event and its prizes, plus a glimpse at Star Trek's 2020 roadmap, check out the link in our show notes.
I think that's it. Tony, can you sweep us out?
Yep. Well, that's all we've got this week for Star Trek Online and gaming news. Now let's open up hailing frequencies and see what's incoming.
Everybody hit stop. Why do you say it like that? Why do you say incoming?
I could do it again.
No,
Space
it's
race.
fine.
Going.
That's all we've got this week for Star Trek Online and gaming news. Now let's open up hailing frequencies and see what's incoming. wait. I can do it again.
No, Spanish.
Now let's open up. Ahora abre las frecuencias hailingamos something.
Oh, gee, stop. Just stop.
Stop. I couldn't do it. Hailing. What's hailing? I
moment-
don't know what hailing means. What's hailing? What's a frecuencias is right, but I don't know what hailing means.
That's one I'd have to open up on Google.
We'd have to. Yeah, then Google Translate.
Google
You have to
Translate.
Google Translate.
I called it. Hey, I want to ask the live chat something because I'm legitimately curious.
All right, stop.
When the event comes up at the end of the year where you're able to choose a tier 6 ship and 200 Lobi versus 1,000 Lobi, what are you guys gonna pick?
Lobi.
I'm doing Lobi.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm totally picking Lobi. I'm curious what everybody out there is gonna pick. I already have all the tier 6 chips, so it doesn't do me any good to pick.
I got like
but
3
I'm curious
of
how
those
many people are in
coupons
that.
in my inventory right now. I don't need any more ships from the C-Store.
Yeah, Lobi.
I've seen 2 people respond
Lobi,
Lobi. already.
Farnsworth, Lobi, yeah, Grand.
It's such a rare commodity that I figure most people will by default pick that. But
That's
that
like-
leads me to the question of why they'd even give the choice.
Probably I'm gonna guess it probably has to do with the fact that they don't necessarily want to pin themselves down to a real money dollar figure for what Lobi is. You know, the tier 6 ship is, you know, they're trying to make it a rough equivalent rather than make it something concrete, because Lobi's a second chance currency, right? And don't they give away an average of 4 per lockbox? Is that
That's
yeah.
about right. Yep.
So that's $250 worth of Lobi, quote, quote. And I think that they would like to make it not that. And so they're saying this is the equivalent of a tier 6 ship, which we sell sometimes for, is it $30, $60? What are tier 6s going for in the C-Store?
30.
Yeah. So they're saying, you know, the Lobi at 1,000 Lobi's worth about maybe this much. It could be worth up to this much if you get it from the lockboxes, but the lockbox prize is, you know, no cash value. So I think they may be kind of a way to try to anchor that, rather than having people go right to, oh, that's, you get that out of lockboxes, 4 per, it's $250 with a Lobi. I think they'd like to break that link maybe a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, Lobie ships are 900 Lobie in the Lobie store.
Yeah,
so.
Tier 6 ones, yeah.
But
Zeph
you can't-
Film says the La Serena should have been a Lobie ship. I
Nicely done.
La Sirena. All right, everybody ready
really
for
need to
feedback?
record that song.
We do.
All right, I'll look at it tomorrow. All right. you
Hey,
guys
wait,
ready for
wait, wait,
feedback?
wait. We know how this goes. Hey, I'm gonna come on and play games with you guys in an hour. Then he never shows up.
Shut up! I did really well last week. I was playing with you guys a lot, and then I kept getting really bad headaches. And this
Oh.
is like the first day in a week
VR's
that I haven't
hard.
had a horrible headache.
Yeah, VR can do that. VR can do that.
All right, I'll probably come back tomorrow to the game. Yo, I spent enough money on the HOTUS
Stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta get some use out of it, man.
All right. I'm gonna hit the big red button for feedback. So here's the way it goes, Skiffy, and I don't want to ever bring it up again. This is the first and only time I'm gonna say it. I say I'm gonna hit the big red button. Don't do it. This is just the example. And I already know that when I do it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, so I don't hit the red button." I already know you enough to know that you're gonna say, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to hit the red button." So don't hit the red button.
Well,
but this is how it
I
goes.
never follow your instructions because I don't have a big red button. Mine's Audition. It's like this big. It's
So is
tiny.
mine. My Audition is a small red button. But I
Audacity
still-
is also a small red button.
It's just a
I
red
Why do
button.
we say the
Also
big
hit
red
the-
button?
I hit the button when you say hit the red button. I did
So-
not get this instruction.
The memo was not addressed to me.
Wait, so you hit the big red button, Cat? You hit the big red button when he says hit the big red button
Yeah.
before he starts counting?
Yeah.
Oh no!
'Cause
That's
you
not
Wonder
say
her
hit-
tracks are
happen.
always out of
Wait,
sync.
okay, this is not.
Yes, that explains so much.
I've always wondered why I've had to slide hers over a lot more.
Are
than
you
everybody
kidding?
Because
Hilarious.
I never received this instruction of
Okay.
that didn't mean what you said it meant.
Okay. So here's how it works. I'm
Oh
gonna
my god.
this is how it
Oh,
goes.
Cat.
Ready?
So you
This
should,
is
hey,
just-
Cat, come do a couple episodes of Guard Frequency so you can see how a real podcast is recorded.
Jeez.
How dare you?
Come on over and see.
How dare you?
Trigger warning! Trigger warning! Somebody get him some tequila, stat.
Okay, so you don't
Here's-
push the red button when you say push the red
No,
button.
that's why I do the countdown. So I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1, click. So I usually do a head nod for the press of the button.
I can't
You
look at
do?
your head nod. I'm looking at the big red button.
Like I never knew any of this. Okay,
so
it's
that's
been
how-
a year.
Sounds like we need to redo the orientation a little bit there,
I
Elijah.
guess- I
We'll
guess
have
I'll
a
have to-
meeting. We'll have a
we'll
meeting
have
tomorrow.
a meeting for orientation.
We'll workshop it.
Can you do the
It's in
like
beta.
Wayne's World?
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 3. So I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1, click.
But when
That's
did
how-
you start saying one? I'm legitimately curious because you never used to say one.
I don't know. Anthony. I used to have this argument with Anthony every once in a while because he was another one that liked to poke me, the bear, about this too, and it just. All right, 3, 2, 1, click. Okay, click the red button on that beat.
Got it.
Ready? I'm gonna hit the big red
Maybe
button.
I don't know.
I'm gonna hit the big red
It's
button
fantastic.
at my cue. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah's
it!
feedback sync 1.
This is Cat pushing the red button. Sync 2.
Wait, you pushed it now?
Oh, shut up.
Wait, you're not supposed to.
Yes. I'm sure it's fine.
Listen, Skippy.
This
Tony's
is Tony
there
having
just
entirely too much fun at Elijah's expense.
That's
Sig
it.
3.
Feedback in 3, 2, 1. Well, Captain's hailing frequencies are now open, and we're ready to receive all of your incoming messages. What up?
Dang it. This week, I can't even do it. This week, our stop laughing, you're killing me. This week, our first community question was, will you be purchasing tickets for Star Trek Las Vegas 2020?
On Twitter, Jason Smith wrote in, I was hoping to go this time, but with the virus and with it unknown when my job will reopen fully, it's a no for STLV. Oh, that's a shame, Jason. I would have loved to have meet you for the first time at STLV. Well, there will be others, I'm sure.
From Twitter, Duncan Idaho 11 writes, "Nope and nope. I really want to go to STLV at some point, but this year isn't the best with global circumstances, timing, and personal financing." Wait. Dang. I really want to go to STLV at some point, but this year isn't the best with global circumstances, timing, and personal finances.
Tyler Maxwell writes into PriorityOnePodcast.com. It really does seem like an unfortunate decision to try and push ahead with STLV by the various parties involved when other large events around the world have already preemptively canceled, even in the fall and later this year. I just don't see many folks signing up to go to a convention in the current situation. Hopefully cooler, rational minds will prevail soon, so the event can be formally canceled and potential attendees can get their refunds.
I don't know
Holy
if we
cow,
covered
that 1,000 times yes. I think that's going to be a weird year for attendees. Like they're going to have record low attendees, and I think they're going to have record low performers, acts, guests,
Celebrity,
hosts.
yeah, guess.
Yeah,
So-
celebrity hosts.
Well, right now, STLV just announced their 72nd guest in a social media post. I saw that. I didn't read who it was. But also something, and I don't remember if we talked about this when we talked about it last week, but there was a convention happening just a week prior to STLV that has already been canceled in Vegas. I don't know if it was in the Rio or whatnot, but there was a convention that had already been canceled. So I don't know, man. I'm starting to lean towards not going. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that it's just real. It's hard to decide now. But we're already in May. And by now, I think you guys know that I would be planning for Vegas by now, kind of thing. You know, like I'd be already knee deep in making sure that, you know, we had the support needed to make it another successful week at STLV. But like, I can't imagine that they would do a convention. I really can't, you know, like, or they will. And like Skiffy said, it's going to be a ghost town at the Rio.
Yeah, the individual vendors are going to have to make a decision based on, you know, what kind of crowd sizes they think they're going to have. And I mean, it just doesn't seem like people are going to go. And if they are going to go, they may not have the sort of discretionary income that they would in a regular year. So even if they make the investment to go out there to sell the costumes and the posters and the clothes and all that other stuff, you know, they may not recoup their investment just because of the low turnout. So it's going to be tough for that too.
As far as I'm personally concerned, once San Diego Comic-Con canceled, it was STLV's responsibility to cancel as well.
Well, yeah, but you weren't here last week for the long conversation that we had about it. But yeah, I mean, San Diego Comic-Con is in California, and their rules are much different versus what's going on in Vegas. I mean, just last week, the mayor of Las Vegas was like, use us as guinea pigs. Use my people as a test bed for reopening America, and which is insanity.
That's where, that's where social responsibility needs to come and prevail ahead of what your government officials may be telling you.
The difference being that contractually, you point to the mayor of Las Vegas and the government of Nevada, and you say there's no more emergency there, so you can't get out of your contracts. Versus California, where the government is saying social distancing, no large gatherings, and then people can say, "Oh, the government told us we can't have a convention. I'm out of my contract now." That's the difference. That's the difference.
Well, our second community question was, will you be purchasing La Sirena in Star Trek Online?
From Facebook, Bud Mulder writes, "You're kidding, right? A gamble for a ship in these times? That's a huge dream on."
And from Facebook, Leon Andrews III says, "My usual, I'll buy a couple of packs. If I get it, great. If not, oh well."
Everybody hit stop.
In
Zeph,
3.
You really mean
2.
stop?
Yes, I really may hit the stop. Yo, Zeph, that's a fucking amazing idea. Let's talk. That's a really, really good idea, Zeph.
I like that idea too.
So, yes, let's definitely...
I was going to say we need a plan B.
Like, for sure, talk about that and get it started now. So, like, let's message me when you're free and let's do that. Alrighty then. Let's do... That's an idea. That's a great idea. Let's copyright it. No, I'm kidding.
Ideas can't be copywritten.
I'm kidding.
It's
I
your
was just
expression of the
poking-
idea.
poking
God,
holes.
let's not start that whole conversation again.
All right, so where are we closing? All right, I'm ready when you guys are.
Give me 1 second.
I am ready.
Okay, now I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Oh, she's not ready. Everybody,
Sorry.
stop and clear your decks.
Where did Big Red Button did Audacity used to have a big red button back in the day?
I think so. I think yeah, Audacity used to have a much. At least their UI was always just bigger than
Okay, ready.
more
The,
pronounced.
the circle in the middle took up more space than it used to.
No.
I'm going to hit the red button in 3. How about this? I'm gonna hit the record button in 3, 2.
I am going to press the part of the UI that corresponds to the initiation of the recording function here at the end of my countdown when I say the word go. Are you prepared for this?
The machine
it's not when he says the word go.
01100010101110001.
For the record, I don't have an issue with saying Big Red Button. I was just curious where that came from.
You just
It
shut
is
up,
lost
man.
to
Just
the
shut up.
depths of
Just
time
shut
at
up.
priority 1.
Just shut up. Just shut up.
I do like the way Guard Frequency does things. It's so much. It's
Pretty good show. People ought to check it out.
Dang.
I love you all.
You suck. I'm just gonna look right into the camera, right square in the camera.
The
Tell
depths of
you-
your soul, Skippy.
This camera
tell
with the
you-
small blue lights around it.
Yeah,
not
this
the-
camera right
you
here, Skippy. This
with
camera, this right here.
Tell you.
Ooh, that's weird
unequivocally
too. With the that's a weird
That
effect.
you
Parts of my finger disappearing.
Le suck.
Is that
I
la
don't think
suck
that's
or el
Spanish.
suck?
You should really run that
That's-
through a
that's
Google
French.
Translate.
That's French.
I'm gonna hit the big red
French
button
suck.
for closing in 3,
So the La Serena's French.
2, 1. This is Elijah closing sync 1.
This is Cat closing sync 2.
This is Tony closing sync 3.
This is Skiffy. I love you, Elijah. Sync 4.
This is a definitely weird live show tonight. 3, closing in 3, 2, 1. Well, that wraps up episode 459 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcasts.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all. More importantly, let your friends know that you're listening to podcasts on the Roddenberry Network.
But we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like Diana Gunther, Darnell Dwayne Ross, David... Dang.
It's pronounced Degwid.
Do good.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like Diana Gunther, Darnell Dwayne Ross, David K. Rutley, Joshua Selig, and Peter Archibald.
And here's a reminder of what our community questions are for this week. First up, what do you think of Brian Fuller's explanation of the Mirror Universe? Then, our second community question, who would you rather take over Viacom CBS? Amazon, Netflix, or Apple? What are your thoughts? And in Star Trek Online News, what are your thoughts on the KDF revamp coming to the game? What do you hope to see?
Captains, it's important to us that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
This episode of Priority One is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Find out more and add your support at Patreon.com/Priority One. Even if you cannot make a financial contribution, please help spread the word about the show and invite your fellow Trekkies. Also, if you have some time to spare and are savvy at social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we're looking for a community manager to join the team. So, if you're interested, just send us an email to incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com. It's the support of our volunteers and our listeners that keeps us going.
Did I miss the part where Kat does Armada news?
Oh shit! Did
Yeah,
I totally
I'm
skip
like,
that? My bad.
Yeah, you just jumped
my
right
bad.
in
Rolled right
there.
over.
I was like,
Hey,
I
Kat.
guess we're not doing
I
that part
scrolled-
today.
Hey, Kat. Why don't you do Armada news in 3, 2?
1. Sorry,
You
it doesn't
guys
matter.
are killing
out
me.
It's out of sync
Alright.
today. That's all right.
We're out of sync. Put this before whatever.
No,
Elijah
you don't
put.
have to. Just keep it.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, me, and the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there is something for all Star Trek Online players, whether you are new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
And don't forget to tune into Priority One Podcast's Guard Frequency at guardfrequency.com.
What?
I did that wrong. I said podcast, not production.
You did.
Don't forget to tune into Priority One Productions' Guard Frequency Podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
It's a pretty good show. You should check it out.
It's true.
Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, William, Brandon, Rand, Daniel, and Roscoe. Fuck Skiffy. Thanks to our...
I was waiting for it.
Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, William, Brandon, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. Thanks to our producer, Jake Morgan, and associate producer, Shane Hoover, for helping us organize and write up our summary of the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. Thanks to our graphic artist, Henry Pomper, with support from Jason Smith of the Priority One Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. But, most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners, because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. Everybody hit stop.
In 3, 2.
No countdown to the stop. Just
What color is the stop button? I need to know.
stop.
The ring.
Just fucking, you guys are dicks. All right,
Oh, this has
Captains.
been fun.
All right, so look, you want to see how long my hair is? Hold on. So before we go,
Oh no.
Are we doing this? Are we doing this?
here we go. Ready? So
Are
it's
we-
combed
no, I
back
guess
right
we're-
now, but watch.
We're doing this.
Wait.
Wow. Mr. Carter!
It's like looking in a whitewashed mirror.
This
I
is
think
what,
he
this is what it
wins.
looks like.
He wins.
It's
Yeah.
not- hold on. There, wait.
I-
Nah, man. Nah, bro. Hold on.
Yeah, you win.
There we go. Look at that. Look at this, man.
Yeah, you win.
How long that
Yeah.
hair is.
That's amazing. This is the longest my hair's ever been, but you're beating me by quite a bit.
I had it long like this in high school. Not high school, in college once, because I couldn't, like, I liked going back to home to get my hair cut. But now.
Oh, right. You just
it's
waited for a long
look at
time?
this,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
wait,
think
hold
I'm
on.
going
Wait.
3 months?
I'm going to do the Wolverine. Wait.
Pretty close, except no. Pretty close, except
What?
no. Yeah. Pretty close, except no.
Not yet,
Not really.
not
Yeah.
Anyway, that's life in quarantine. All right, everybody. Thank you all so very much for joining us
See?
on this live broadcast of what? What did I miss?
I'm like, see how long my hair is? See?
Yeah, see.
She's got you beat.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this live broadcast of Priority One. As always, it's a pleasure having this evening to talk about Trek with you all. So join us again
Thanks
next
to
week.
Tracy for stopping by.
Oh, yes,
thank
of
you,
course. And
Tracy.
thank you,
Thanks
Tracy,
for
for
stopping
stopping
by,
by. Yeah, now we're going to record After Hours where we are going to review. We're going to start a series of reviewing the worst Star Trek episode, arguably the worst Star Trek episodes that have ever been released, thanks to Skiffy's idea. And our patrons selected Threshold as the first episode, so we're going to go offline and talk about that. So if you're interested in catching that, find out more over at patreon.com/priority1 and sign up. It's just $10 a month. All right, everybody. until next week, say good night.
Bye, y'all.
Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.